I'm just going to start now. So let me get this switched over. And if people want to jump in, they can. And if not, it'll all be recorded and up on YouTube. So it works well either way. Cool. All right. So today I'm going to be reading probably just the two stories. Um, they're both kind of Jade focused, and the second one is a little bit of Varadia focused. So the first one is continuing the Dr. June Egbert um, alt epilogue continuity. This is set kind of in the middle of the ones that we read last time and focuses on Jade specifically. So this is from the case files of Dr. June Egbert, MD, PhD, Esquire, Volume 1, Chapter 3, The Case of the Woman Who Fell Through the World. Dr. June helped an old friend who's suffering from a crisis of identity in more ways than one.
Associate of a patient approached with an unusual issue. They hadn't heard from a friend in a while and were looking for advice in contacting her again. Associate is a 27-year-old Arturian woman. Friend is a 27-year-old human woman, and also, I think, some kind of dog goddess, who I've known for some time. Enclosed is a collection of chat logs, diary entries, and other forms of media to document this case. All information is protected by doctor, professor, patient confidentiality. June, I need your help. Doctor, professor can help. Well, you are in the right place, my good friend. The doctor professor is in. But we are now not friends, temporarily, because that would be unprofessional. You are a client now, and I am a doctor professor.
EB added CE to the chat.
Thank you, Casey. Notes will be much appreciated. Now, what is your problem? I'm worried about Jade. I know she does her own thing, but no one has seen her in like a year. Not since the Carpathian capital was finished. Of course I tried, but her email is disconnected and she won't answer her messages. Her phone goes right to voicemail. Okay, I think I have an idea that might work. I think I know how to get in touch with Jade. Maybe. Do you trust me? Despite my better judgment and common sense and most forms of logic, yeah, I actually do trust you. From the desk of Dr. June Egbert, MD, PhD, Esquire. Dear Jade, I'm entrusting this letter with the Peregrine Mendicant. She has graciously agreed to temporarily redon her cap as the parcel mistress and do her best to find you. I have no doubt that this letter will reach you. I'm just not sure how long it'll take. Anyway, please get in touch with me. Terezi was worried about you. She said she tried to reach out, but all forms of communication were cut off. If you're experiencing emotional distress or just need someone to talk to, please remember that there is an experienced doctor professor in Carapacia who would be glad to help you. It's me, that me I was talking about. I'm the doctor professor. Or if you just want to talk to your friend June, please let me know that you're okay. I miss you a lot and I'm worried about you. Hugs, June Egbert. June, I'm sorry, but this is for the best. Please don't write again. Jade.
Conversation between Terezi and Friska.
Chris, I don't know what to do. About Jade. What happened? She wrote back to June. She said not to write again. This is my fault. How? Jade isn't a baby human. How could this be your fault? June said that I was worried about her. I I think that freaked her out. We didn't talk much after. Uh, Wait, what happened? Please don't be mad. But a few months before you came back, we maybe had sex once. I wanted to know if it was just in my head, how I feel about sex. So Jade and I kind of did that. But it got really weird after, and she didn't want to talk anymore. Oh shit. I'm sorry, Resi. I didn't know. I'm not mad. That would be stupid. I just feel bad because it sounds like maybe you both got hurt by accident. Dear diary. Okay, so maybe I didn't exactly tell Resi where I was going, or Rose, or Kanaya, or anyone. I just kind of packed up my stuff, said I was going on a little expedition to New Alternia. Then I found good old PM and asked her where the fuck Jade was hiding these days. I guess something in how Jade was acting kind of spooked PM because she told me exactly where she was at. I guess she's hiding out in some forest north of New Alternian borders. I went there, and sure enough, she was pretty easy to find. I mean, maybe I had a little luck on my side. Wink. She didn't want to talk to me, and I figured she wouldn't. But I told her that Resi was really worried and felt really bad about how things had ended. And I said that Dr. June really helped me when I was trying to figure things out after being in the other place and having to deal with the narrator, writer, shitfucker, whatever. Jay got really weird and quiet, and when I said all that, and she just kind of went off into the woods. God, she's so fucking frustrating sometimes.
Conversation between Jade and Vriska.
Rizka. Oh, holy shit, Jade. Listen, about before, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have bothered you. Rizka, tell me about the writer, the narrator, whatever you called them. Uh, okay. I've been hearing things, Rizka, disjointed things in the back of my mind. Sometimes shouting like they're right next to me, but it's like snippets from another world. And Vriska, I don't like what they say. They make me feel gross, disgusting, talking about things I don't want to do like I've already done them. Just, I'm having trouble sorting through what I'm hearing. Like, I already tried it once and I didn't like it. I feel bad enough. Why do I have to keep talking about it? Shit, Jade, I don't know what you mean, but it sounds pretty bad. Do you want to talk to June or Resi? Resi's mad at me after. Oh, God, you're both so bad at this. She's not mad at you. She felt like she hurt you when you two had sex, and she felt like it was her fault. She's going through a lot in that department, the sex department, that is. So Terezi is asexual, and maybe I should lead with that next time. Can you give me a few minutes, please?
Chat between Vriska and that's actually and Jade. It is supposed to be Jade. Jade invited Terezi to the chat. Terezi joined the chat.
Oh shit, Jade, you're okay. I was worried. Does she know about the narrator thing, Vriska? She knows all about it, yeah. I told her and Rose and Kanaya about it all. Oh, also, we're all together now, so that's a thing. Yay! I keep hearing and seeing these weird pieces of another world, like an alternate timeline or something, but everything in it is so bad, and the stuff about me, it's disturbing. I have something to tell you two, and I don't want it leaving this chat. For real, you have to promise. I promise. Of course. Sex, it felt like an unpleasant chore to me. I didn't like it at all, and I thought I did something really wrong and hurt Terezia's feelings, because I wasn't good enough and I didn't enjoy it. That's why I freaked out after Terezi and I did that. Not because I didn't like her, but because I felt bad. Some of the stuff I keep hearing, I keep seeing myself with all these different people doing different things. I want that stuff out of my head. And no matter where I go, I keep hearing it echoing around. I feel like I'm going crazy all the time and no one can help me.
Jade left the chat.
Oh, shit.
Chat between Vriska and June.
Okay, retcon Bert, we need to talk for real. Vriska! You know I can't do that anymore, right? You know that was 9 A's, right? What? Seriously? Oh, shit. Okay, Dr. June is going to handle this one. Oh, jeez. What can I do for you today, ma'am? Did I mention I am fully licensed in the state of... Oh, crap. I never made states. I'm fully licensed in the sovereign nation of Carapacia. Jade is losing her shit, June. She keeps hearing stuff from alternate timelines, which I know is a great way to go completely fucking insane. Oh, no. Also, I think she might be feeling like Terezi, sex-wise, asexual, but like more. She's getting really freaked out by some stuff in the other timeline. She's not really specific, but I think she's seeing a version of her that's uh, horny on main, like all the time. That was a human term that Rose used once. I think it fits. How did you deal with the time looping in the black hole? Or the time loop when you went back? I don't know. The black hole was different. I was aware that the time had passed, but it felt off. Like I was living in cycles and aware of everything, but also not. Hard to explain. And the time loop back here was just one day repeated like 4 times. It's different for Jade. She's getting this stuff bleeding into reality now. What do you need me to do, Vriska? Fucking help her. She's our friend and she's losing her mind.
Transcript of phone call between Terezi Pyrope and Jade Harley.
Hello, what's up?
Rezi, oh my god, thank God.
What's wrong?
It it just keeps getting worse. I keep seeing these things. I don't want to see this stuff anymore.
Hey, Vriska had the same problem for a while. I think it helped for her to talk to the rest of us. And June, supportive partners. That's
That's part of the problem.
what do you mean?
Uh, please promise you won't laugh at me.
I promise.
You're all in such beautiful relationships, and I feel like I should be in one too, but I don't want to be. It actually kind of makes my stomach hurt to think about. That's why I hate these things I keep seeing. I'm kissing people and having sex with people and flirting and being all lovey, and I just want to be able to spend quiet time alone or maybe with some friends, but not like the kind of time I keep seeing in these visions.
Oh shit, Jade, are you crying? Are you? Oh shit. Mm,
Yeah, sorry.
no, no, it's fine. I think I kind of know how you feel a little bit. After we were together a few years back, I started really thinking about it. I mean, maybe not exactly the same, but I know it's frustrating. Everyone expects you to be a certain way all the time. It's exhausting.
I know. I just want to be left alone so I can go back to living.
Fuck. I know how you feel. Hey, can I suggest something?
Sure.
Talk to June when she's doing her doctor thing. It's actually super helpful.
Oh, okay. Thanks. Chat between Casey Egbert and Rose. Okay, yeah, I can do some research for June if she needs me to. No offense, but why isn't she telling me this? Okay, that does make sense. I don't want to interrupt her work with a patient. What does she need me to research? Are you fucking kidding me? No, 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 no. I will be contacting her immediately. Chat between Rose and June. Do you perhaps want to turn in your fake medical license? Or are you planning to ask Casey to ask me to do some more Sexuality 101 research? Seriously, June, use your common sense. No, that's not entirely fair. You didn't come out until after Earth was destroyed. You probably missed a lot, given how we used to socialize, boys.
So I take it you talked to Casey.
No shit, June.
I'm sorry, it's just I keep finding out about stuff I don't know about. I'm trying to be a good doctor professor and not let my patients down.
Okay, fine. I don't know because I'm not her, but if I had to guess, I'd say Jade is asexual, like Terezi, but also sex repulsed. She actively dislikes sex. It sounds like she might be aromantic too.
I mean, she does smell pretty nice most of the time, kind of like gardening.
Oh, Jesus fuck. Not aromantic. Aromantic. She doesn't get romantic feelings for people. From what I've heard, she seems kind of weirded out by the idea of being in a relationship in general.
Yeah, and Briska said she keeps seeing visions of other timelines. One, she's been in all kinds of relationships. It must be really bothering her.
I feel like you should talk this over with her and Vriska. Maybe Terezi too. They're the ones with the most comparable experiences. Group chat. June created the group Asexual Support System. June added Jade, Vriska, Terezi, and Casey.
Ass! This is going to be Rosebud all over again. Oh, shit.
June changed the name of the group to Asexual and Timeline Support Group.
This group is to facilitate discussion of your shared experiences under extremely professional doctor professor guidance. Casey is here primarily to observe. Don't mind them. They are most correct. You will not even know they are there. Jade, I never meant to hurt you. I was still figuring stuff out, but I didn't realize how things affected you. And I shouldn't have reached out and made sure you were okay. It's it's okay. You didn't know and I didn't tell you. It's just with everything all at once, trying to figure myself out and then seeing all these other lives and hating what I'm seeing, I feel like maybe I'm broken. Maybe the problem is that I just can't get my head around the idea of it being like that. Me actually liking that kind of stuff. You're not broken. You are who you are in this timeline. You're special and great. And I I don't want to say because I'm embarrassed that they'll laugh. June and Casey, if you laugh at her, I will murder you both. I felt safe with you. That's why I wanted to, that's why I felt comfortable doing that because I wasn't sure and you weren't going to hurt me. But I didn't realize what would happen. Otherwise, I wouldn't have done that. I understand, actually. And that's actually super flattering to hear. I just kind of freaked out because I thought something was wrong with me. Jade, you find how you are, even if other versions of you might be different. Yeah, so about that, I don't even think that's true. I don't remember a whole lot about the other place, but when I was there, the narrator, writer, they kept trying to change things around. They kept talking about other versions of the universe like they were part of a story. But I think it was all hoofbeat shit. I think they were just making crap up. But what does that mean for me? The stuff I'm seeing and hearing, I don't like it. It makes me feel scared and I want it to stop. I don't know the answer to that, but I do know that locking yourself away won't help. Trust me, the more you try to pull away, the worse it'll get. I don't like being out here. I feel lonely all the time. I just don't want to feel broken and hurt and crazy. You were never broken, Jade. I just hadn't discovered some missing pieces yet. Oh, wow, that sounded cheesy. Thank you, Drizzy. You really are sweet. I think if maybe I felt that way about people, you and I could probably be pretty good girlfriends. Jade, you know you can come back and stay with us. Callie and Roxy and I have lots of room. We could even make you your own place, easy. I know you're going through a lot, and I know the answers aren't easy. Honestly, it might be a long time before you feel completely okay. It may be a struggle at times, but it's not something you have to face alone.
From Vriska, Flarp Goddess 8 at Carapacia.net to Jade, Dog Goddess at Carapacia.net.
Movie? Hey, you want to go see a movies tomorrow? Now that you're living here, I got to introduce you to the awesomely terrible thing that is Carapacians remaking Earth human movies without understanding the original plot, context, or characters. Vriska. Yes, this is not a date, so don't feel weird about it. Maybe a friend date is a better word for it.
From Jade to Vriska. Reply, movie. Yeah, that sounds like it'd be a lot of fun. Don't worry, I don't feel weird about it at all. You're a good friend, and I'm happy to go out with you on a friend date. Jade. P.S. I think it's sweet you asked me in an email. That feels old fashioned and also really cute. You're just as sweet as Terezi, even if you still act kind of tough. I see why she loves you so much. Jade Harley updated her status 10:27 p.m. Feeling thankful. Thanks to June Egbert Vriska, parentheses Mindfang, and Resi Pyro for convincing me to come back to Carapacia. I'm still going through a lot. Still trying to filter out the stuff I keep hearing and seeing. But having people around to help me get through that means so much to me. Things are slowly getting better. I'm seeing Dr. June once a week, and I've been talking to everyone about their own experiences. Helps to put things in perspective. I just want everyone to know I love all of you so much. You're all the best friends, and I'm so thankful you reached out to me when you did. Liked by Callie, Carkalicious, Rocks, and 7 others. All right. Um, cool. All right, we have some people actually in the chat. So that was the end of that one. And the next one I'm going to read is going to be another Dr. June once I get some water. Mm. So, I wrote a bunch of other stuff after writing that, and um, I wrote the. I'm glad you liked it. It's a fun story, and this next one I like. So I wrote the story about Aradia coming back, which I might read after this one because it's kind of weird and kind of experimental, but sort of fun too. But the long and short of it is Aradia comes back too, and so this is the first story that has her in it. So this is the Dr. June I wrote after writing a bunch of other stuff, and I think it got better. I used the improved chat logs and did a lot to sort of work on the pacing and stuff. So this is the further exploits of Dr. June Egbert, MD, PhD, Esquire, and basically the same summary as last time. So chapter one, A Woman Out of Place and Time. Dr. June helps Aradia Megiddo and Jade Harley navigate their feelings for each other. June Egbert tapped her clipboard and adjusted her glasses, carefully writing her next patient's name in her neatly block-printed writing. Up until recently, she'd been almost exclusively helping her friends indirectly. She had only infrequently met up with them in person to conduct her therapy sessions, and it was taking some getting used to. She had alchemized a long couch for everyone to lie down on, because that was what all the therapists in movies and TV had. Having seen her friends benefit from the process, June regretted not having had the chance to try it herself before her original version of Earth exploded. Maybe in another life she would have figured things out a bit sooner, realized who she was, had a chance to start living earlier. Those were all purely academic questions now. What wasn't purely academic, however, was her current patient. Aradia Megiddo lay on the couch, looking a bit uncomfortable to be there. Since arriving on Earthsea, she had stopped wearing her god-tier robes and instead opted for a simple black dress tied off with a crimson sash. June thought she recognized Kanaya's hand in the dress, something that surprised her basically not at all. June tapped the clipboard again and cleared her throat.
So, Aradia, welcome to my practice. My name is Dr. June Egbert, MD, PhD, Esquire.
She heard Aradia giggle when she said it, and June smiled. June was not, despite her often lighthearted approach to life, an idiot. She knew that she had never received formal medical or legal training, and that a doctor professor wasn't a thing anyone actually said. But it put people at ease. So what had started as a silly joke had grown into something that actually served a genuine purpose.
If you don't mind, Casey will be taking notes.
Casey? Aradia sounded genuinely unsure and looked around the room. In the corner, Casey waved and made a quiet glub sound. Aradia put a hand up in response. Oh, the salamander. Yes, of course, they can take notes. June grinned at Casey and nodded her head.
Don't worry, they have excellent shorthand.
Is that a stenographer's machine they're seated behind? Aradia asked matter-of-factly. June nodded.
Okay, let's begin.
June said, and Casey began to tap away.
So, Aradia, tell me about yourself.
I failed to see how this is relevant.
No, you see, it's just how we start therapy to build a rapport between patient and therapist. Me being the therapist here.
I thought pretending to be a therapist was what Rose did.
No, I see, it's different. I've been reading a lot of books, and I've also helped a bunch of people.
I know, you came highly recommended.
I don't know if you're being sarcastic or not.
June, I'm not familiar enough with human concepts to know what that is.
You know, like saying something but not really meaning it.
Why would I do that? That sounds unpleasant.
I guess it usually is, actually. Oh, Casey says they'll make a note that you weren't being sarcastic. And that they'll transcribe their own speech properly.
Casey seems very helpful.
Oh, they are. But so why did you want to see me in the first place?
Briska suggested it, and Kanaya, and also Rose, and Terezi. Apparently, they are all in a complex relationship together, and you help them immensely with their various issues. They said they consider you a dear friend, an excellent therapist.
I will not make a formal note saying that Dr. June is blushing from embarrassment. Strike that from the record immediately.
Is this a bad time to do this? I'm not even sure what I should be asking you or talking about.
Maybe we can resume this tomorrow.
Text message to Vaska at Arachnid's Grasp from June.
Hey, Briska, do you have a minute? Oh, June, for you, a minute or 8. What brings you to the greatest troll on this fine morning? Is it my grace, my beauty, my cunning? Someone's feeling themselves this morning. No, I have Rose and Kanaya doing that mostly. Tresley mostly watches. We're kinky like that. Wink. Oh, holy shit, that was way more info than I needed to hear. I'm just going to move right along like he didn't say anything about it. Serious, Dr. June, hat on. I need to know what helped you open up after you came out of the black hole. What helped you feel comfortable talking to everyone? Oh shit, you're being serious, huh? I'm sorry, June, I was just fucking with you. I'm assuming this is about Aradia. I don't know if we had the same experience. Also, I had a lot of baggage to unpack. And then this shit with the time loops. It's a lot, June. I felt safe with you, June. That's the bottom line. You want to separate everything out? That was it. I felt safe. Oh, cool. But why? What made you feel safe to talk to me? June, you're the biggest fucking dork ever and like the easiest person to talk to because you listen really well. So just be there for her. Like you were for me, like you were for all of us. Text to sis at Garden Gnostic, also from June. Hey, Jade, can I get some advice for a Dr. June thing, or is this a bad time? No, it's fine, June. What's up? Aradia came to see me, but she didn't really talk about why she was there. If she was in the black hole place like Vriska, I don't know, maybe she's dealing with some of the same kind of isolation. How'd you feel with everything that happened after you and Terezi? I didn't, June. To be honest, completely lost my shit. I was seeing things from other realities, and it was messing with my head badly. I'm still coming to terms with that. It's something I'll have to live with. I think it's the same with Vriska. We got to talking about it recently. Her experiences with the other place. It's a lot like how it feels when I see things that I know never happened to me, but also did. Let her set the pace, is my point. I know you want to help, and that's super sweet, but you can't rush this. Aradia was very precise about being on time the next morning. That made sense, June figured, given that time was her whole deal in general. June had been up since early that morning, and Kelly had somehow been up even earlier, and they'd made coffee for everyone. So June had a delicious concoction of sugar, cream, and a little bit of coffee as a treat. It was basically liquid candy, but she was determined not to let it go to her head. She'd given the matter a lot of thought the night before. Even after Kelly and Roxy had long since curled up together and asleep, June had thought about how she might be able to approach the situation. Aradia had only been on Earthsea for a couple weeks now. June doubted that she had really settled into much of a routine. When Aradia showed up, she sat down on the couch immediately. June settled into a chair nearby and took out her clipboard again. In the corner of the room, Casey began tapping away on their stenographer's keyboard. Why didn't you tell me about your experiences before coming here? Like, right before? Well, I was watching Paradox Space fall apart. It was actually quite beautiful, in a sad kind of way. I heard a voice, a strange voice that felt like it was over me, and it was saying odd things about sprites that never existed, like Dave Cat. Like a Dave Carcat sprite. Weird. Yes, exactly like that. But then that voice went away and another one was speaking, and it felt quieter and weaker than the first voice, as if it had already finished most of what it had to say and was just waiting out the rest of its time. That actually sounds kind of like what Vriska described for when she was in the black hole. I know, she told me. I was in a kind of blank void, and I had no idea how I'd gotten there or how long it had been. I'm sure time doesn't have any meaning there anyway. So what happened next? We talked. They said a lot about narrative and stories, as if the two of us existed in some kind of storyline. But I think they were mostly afraid that they weren't relevant anymore. I think they were trying to hold on to some shred of that, even if it meant acting in a way that destroyed whatever they saw as being essential to who they were. I will make a note that I also got chills hearing that. It's like what Vriska described. I think I felt Vriska there, but only for a little while. She wasn't around when I was there. It was lonely. I couldn't hear the dead anymore. I think they were all gone. What about now? No,
Still nothing. I don't think this universe works the same way, or maybe something about me is different. I don't know, June.
So you said you convinced them to what? Let you go?
No, I told them I was going whether they liked it or not. I think I convinced them to let themselves go.
What do you mean?
They said they were afraid, so I told them that as long as we make a difference for at least a little while, then that matters in some way.
Wow, that's very profound.
It's the truth, whether or not you think it's profound. In any case, they were very lonely because all the people they knew moved on. I think maybe they created them, or thought they did at least. I wasn't concerned with it at the time, although now I wish I'd asked for more details. I told them I was leaving, and then I did. They tried to tell me I was lonely.
Do you feel lonely?
I'm not sure. I'm not used to living in a world where I'm not hearing the voices of the dead all the time. It's an entirely new experience, and I'm not sure if it's one I find pleasant yet.
What about being around other people?
I've been talking to Jade a lot. I like Jade. She's nice, and she understands what it feels like to be different. Also, she's pretty, and I find her pleasant to be around in general.
So why did you want to see me to begin with? I feel like I keep asking you for information, but you seem like you're pretty insightful in general. What do you need me for?
Is that how I come across? It's not on purpose. In truth, I feel like I do not belong here. I was hoping that you could help me find a place on Earthsea.
Don't feel like you belong. What do you mean?
Much of my life has been defined by cycles that felt like obligations. I wonder sometimes if I was essentially a necessary cog in a very large machine, to use a non-literal phrase. Now I feel like that purpose has disappeared.
Aradia, you've been talking to Jade, right?
Yes.
Have you tried talking to her about any of these feelings?
No, I haven't.
Do you think you would be comfortable doing that?
Yes. Although I don't see why that would help me.
At least give it a try, okay?
Text conversation to Jade at Garden Gnostic from Aradia. June suggested that I talk to you. I think she believes it will help me. Well, what do you need help with? Honestly, I'm not sure exactly. June believes I'm lonely. I'm not sure if that's true or not. Do you feel lonely? Like, do you want to spend more time with people? Talk to people? Make some friends? Jade, have you ever gotten to the point where you just believe that how you feel is innate? That you are just fundamentally meant to feel like that forever? Yes, I have. That is how I feel, all the time. Would I like to make some friends? Yes, of course, but who am I going to befriend at this point? I feel as if everyone's moved beyond where I am. They see me as an obligation to talk to. I've already fulfilled my purpose, so why waste their time and mine?
I'll go on a date with you. Date. Ah, stupid Briska words. I mean, I'll go hang out with you. Sorry, Briska called it a friend date, and I guess the term stuck.
That would make me happy. I would like to do that very much. Another text between Aradia and Jade. I will admit I was not expecting to like Die Hard 2. This time there is a plane crash. I think I haven't watched it in a while, given the description of the general concept. But I enjoyed myself, maybe in spite of the movie.
LOL. It was fun, wasn't it? I don't know. The Carpathians are really doing a lot of work. It's not their fault that Dave keeps making these horrible scripts and claiming he'll love them.
I don't understand that. Why say you love something when you don't? It doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, I don't really get it either. But in any case, I enjoyed our friend date. You're a lot of fun to be around, Aradia.
I haven't heard anyone say that for a long time. Maybe not since Alternia and Solix.
Oh shoot, I didn't mean to make you think about that. I'm sorry.
Don't be. I was the one who brought it up. I miss him a lot. And I don't know what happened. just that I couldn't find him before Paradox Space collapsed in on itself.
It was a week later that Aradia showed up for her scheduled session in June's office, which was a room that she and Callie had designed off of the main house. This time, Aradia seemed to have something specific on her mind. She was sometimes hard for June to read. She tended towards being somewhat stoic, maybe a little on the pensive side at times. But today she was looking downright introspective. Instead of lying on the couch, she had decided to sit on the edge while June sat in her usual chair. Aradia kept looking off into space and down at the floor.
Are you okay?
June asked, taking a sip of the Cali coffee she'd gotten earlier.
You seem distracted by something.
June, do you like me?
Aradia asked, frowning.
Are we friends?
Yeah, I like you.
June responded without hesitation.
I won't say I know you super well on a personal level, but I'd like to think we're friends at least a little bit.
Aradia smiled.
Jade and I went on a friend date, and we were talking about a lot of different stuff. I mentioned Solix in a message to her, and it got me thinking.
She paused and linked her fingers together in front of her. She began to rub her index finger with her thumb, a gesture that seemed both unconscious and soothing.
I really miss Solix. He was someone I felt I could talk to in a way I couldn't with anyone else. I guess maybe I didn't talk about it because I don't know, really.
Aradia's eyes were watering.
I don't really. She took a deep breath. I don't know why, but I feel like I should be sadder. I miss him, but I also don't feel like people who are crying their eyes out on the floor because they lost someone. I just feel like I have this hollow bit in my heart. I feel like it means there's something wrong with me, like I'm broken somehow.
June took a sip of the coffee to buy herself a second to think, then responded.
I don't think it means anything like that. Everyone responds to things in their own unique ways. You can still miss Solix and feel that absence without acting in a certain specific way. They're your feelings.
Wiping the tears that had collected in her eyes, Aradia smiled at June.
I know. It's just that it's been a long time since I felt like I was really connected to anyone. I mean, obviously, other than Solix, but even then, it's been quite some time. You know that time didn't pass the same way in Paradox Space.
June nodded.
Yeah, Terezi mentioned something to that effect.
Well, the last time I saw Solix was when we were all fighting Lord English, so it's been over a decade of your Earthsea time. To me, it feels like longer. Maybe not as long as Vriska was in the black hole, but still.
It's lonely?
June asked, reaching out towards Aradia's hand. Aradia took the offered hand and half smiled, looking up at June, but quickly breaking eye contact.
I guess you could say that. It is, yes.
She took a deep breath.
Aren't you going to have Casey transcribe this and all that?
No, I don't think we'll do that today.
June hesitated.
How about for today you don't think of me as world famous Dr. Professor June Egbert, MD, PhD? How about for today you just think of me as June Egbert, your friend?
I think I like that.
Aradia's smile broadened.
I'm not even sure what to do. Not that I was necessarily a particularly outgoing person before, but after 10 years of isolation and some highly unusual experiences, I think I'm ready to maybe find somewhere that I truly belong.
The conversation lapsed for a bit, and June sat and drank the coffee in silence. Finally, she heard Aradia start to speak again.
May I ask you a question that you may consider indelicate?
Well, when you put it like that.
June exclaimed with a short laugh. She saw Aradia's face fall and quickly waved a hand.
Oh, no, no, no. It's fine. I was just joking.
The small smile returned.
Well,
Aradia said.
it seems that many of the original group of us have, how do I put this, paired up. You, Roxy, and Callie are all together. Rose, Kanaya, Vriska, and Terezi have whatever it is they have going on. Am I to understand that this is just kind of how we're doing things around here then?
Huh.
June said.
I never really considered that. I mean, I guess everything just kind of happened, but not everyone feels like that.
Jade.
Aradia said quietly.
Jade has complicated feelings. She doesn't want to be in a relationship like that, and she has thoughts that sometimes bother her immensely. But she likes the idea of having someone she can confide in.
June looked closely at Aradia. She appeared to be deep in thought.
She told you all that?
Hold on one. Sorry about that. Yes, Aradia said. Well, some of this was stuff I could infer from other things she said, but overall, yes. We've been talking a lot lately. I like Jade a lot. Another lull in the conversation. June was looking at Aradia as the troll said, and as the troll spoke and fidgeted with her hands. After a few minutes, Aradia looked straight down at the floor and opened her mouth to speak quietly. I think I might feel similarly to how Jade does. I think I might want something like she does. Something that I can be close to without feeling pressured into being intimate in a way I'm uncomfortable with.
Well, that's great, Aradia.
June grinned.
I've been doing a lot of reading on the subject, as a matter of fact. I'm sure we can help you out. I think Jade might be a good resource since she's in the middle of trying to figure this stuff out.
Another bit of a pause, then Aradia again. I think maybe I might like a relationship like that with Jade. If June had been in the middle of drinking the coffee, she certainly would have been in the position for the classic spit take, but as it was, she was only able to choke slightly on her own tongue. Aradia was still looking at the ground and smiling. She's very nice. Another bit of a pause. And she's very pretty to look at. Another pause, and June was feeling that this conversation had taken a sharp turn. I apologize for getting off track. It was just something that was on my mind. Conversation between Jade and Aradia. Don't the Carpacians have their own identity? I don't understand why they keep copying movies based principally on things Dave barely remembers. Honestly, at this point, I think they're mostly just trying to make him feel wanted. I hear they're working on a number of Carapacian written and directed movies that explore themes unique to their society. Given that Rose has figured out how to alchemize most of the human movies they emulate anyway, I would be curious to see something like this. It feels less unnecessary. Oh, absolutely. Jade, can I ask you something maybe a bit personal? I promise it isn't anything salacious. Sure, go ahead. I can't promise I'll answer, but I won't be mad if you ask. We have been talking and hanging out for a few weeks now. Would you consider us friends? Well, that's not very personal. Yeah, of course we're friends. No, see, that was a lead in question for the more personal one. It is a trick Terezi taught me. That was a joke. It was an obvious idea that I had myself.
Okay, so what's the real question?
I know how you feel about quadrants generally. Well, the ones that involve sex and romance, at least. I'm still getting used to the human terminology. But I was wondering if maybe you might think of me as something more intimate than a friend. Like a friend plus, if you will. It is hard for me to put into words, but I feel that we might share similar views on certain aspects of romance and sexuality. Oh, uh, Roddy, I have to go. I'm sorry. I'll talk to you later. Honest. Oh, I apologize if I made you feel uncomfortable. Seen by @Garden Gnostic. Sis, conversation between Jade and June. June. I could really use some advice, and I'm kind of freaking out. Oh, shit.
Oh no, what happened, Jade? Are you okay? Are you hurt? Is someone hurt?
What? Oh no. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to make you think that. Don't worry about it.
No, don't say that. What happened?
Sorry. I panicked. I was texting Arati, and we were talking, and I think she meant like me, like feelings like me, but like not romance feelings or I want to do it feelings, but something kind of in between that and friendship. I don't know the word. And the weird thing is, I think I know what she means. Maybe. Shit is so hard, June.
I hate to say this, but I might not actually be the best person to talk about this. I kind of lean into the whole sex and romance thing with both barrels, if you know what I mean.
Oh, gross. Sis, TMI.
Oh shit, sorry. I was talking to Briska the other day, and I think it kind of rubbed off on me a little. Anyway, I don't know how you feel as well as someone else you know. Hint, hint, hint.
Oh, yeah, shit. I was freaking out, so I didn't even think of that. Thanks, June. The chat between
Terezi and Jade. And Terezi's screen name for Jade is still cute AF, but I respect her boundaries.
Teresa, I'm sorry to bother you, but I could really use some advice.
Sure, I've got time. We're starting a FLARP session, but Fussy Fangs is trying to decide on what her character should look like, so I give it, well, maybe we'll actually start playing tomorrow.
Okay, not to get too weirdly personal, but can you kind of talk me through how your whole thing with Rose and Kanai and Vriska works? Like, I know you don't mind sex, but you don't seem to really care much about it. The one time we did that, looking back, it seemed like you mostly just wanted to because I wanted to. Well, I thought I wanted to. I'm still so sorry for freaking out like that.
Okay, first of all, you don't need to apologize. I was literally your first time. I still felt like that was something I needed to do in a relationship to make it work. I think we were both under a lot of false impressions. I think we both deserve to maybe forgive ourselves a little bit. Yeah?
Tracy, I don't know what to say.
Don't worry, we're fine. I love you. Not romantically, don't worry. I'm not going to lie and say it didn't hurt at first, but we talked about it a lot since then, and I've got partners that fit that into that spot in my heart. I wouldn't trade having you as a friend for my own pettiness.
Oh my God, thank you. I'm sorry you don't know how much that means. I'm literally crying.
Harley, you're going to make me all teary.
Sorry.
Anyway, to actually answer you, we all talk like all the fucking time about everything, boundaries and expectations and wants and needs and shit, because all of us are different people and there's no template for us in a group. We've all kind of figured out what makes us happy and comfortable. And if that changes, then we talk about it so everyone else can decide what to do. Even if the change means one of us isn't comfortable in the group anymore, that would be better than hurting everyone else.
The reason I ask is, whew, so I got really freaked out when I started seeing stuff from the other timelines. I mean, some of that stuff just, I didn't like it. But then I slowly accepted that these things I was seeing weren't me in the sense that I am, but just someone else who I maybe could have been in some other world. Or like how someone imagined me to be, I guess. Sometimes I'm not sure, but it doesn't matter right now.
It feels like you're dancing around something here.
You're right. I've been spending a lot of time with Arati, and I think I'm actually starting to fall in love with her. But like not in a romantic way, and I don't want to be physical, just at least not more than maybe hugging and kissing. Stop me if this is getting too weirdly personal.
Dude, we've literally seen each other naked.
Okay, good point. Anyway, I think I'm falling like in platonic love with Aradia. I'm not sure how to deal with that because what if she wants more than that? I don't want to go through that all again. No offense.
I'm taken. So you probably just have to actually tell her all this stuff. There's no shortcut here, Harley. Sorry, babe. Them's the breaks.
Uh, I figured you were going to say that. Sad wolf.
Conversation between Jade and Aradia.
Aradia, I'm sorry for freaking you out like that. I'd like to talk if you're okay with that. I'm not upset. I said something that was sensitive and you didn't know how you would react. I was prepared for the possibility that you might be upset. Although I don't want to lie, it did hurt a little. The thing is, I kind of think I feel the same way you do. I don't know how to explain it, but the romance thing isn't for me. But what you describe, God, why are words so fucking hard? I understand how hard it is to talk about. I think we both feel the same way, but consider, does it matter what we call it? What do you mean? I know it helps to label things, but if we both have difficulty expressing what it is we feel, maybe it would be best to simply feel it. Just see where it all goes. Precisely. We can always define things however we want at any time. But I wasn't joking with you about my feelings. I don't do that. There's no point. Okay, yeah, I can live with that. Aradia, you're starting to mean a lot to me.
Kissy emoji.
You're starting to mean a lot to me too, Jade.
Kissy emoji. June was the first to admit that she'd been a bit confused when Jade had texted her to ask if it was okay to bring someone with her to the session. June had gently reminded her that the whole Dr. June thing had started as a lighthearted joke to ease tension and was not, in fact, being enforced by anything other than everyone agreeing that this was working for them. So, yes, it was fine to bring someone along with her. Jade had been exceedingly cryptic, simply replying with a brisk, "Thanks, sis," and nothing more. On some level, it was surprising when Jade showed up the next day holding Aradia's hand, but then again, on some level, it wasn't surprising at all. Casey said from their corner. June looked over and grinned.
I don't recall making any such bet with you.
Casey frowned, but they didn't say anything else. June parked herself in her usual chair and was about to suggest that she retrieve some additional seating when Aradia and Jade walked over and sat down together on the couch. Aradia leaned heavily into Jade, who put her arm around the troll and smiled, pressing her face into Aradia's thick, loosely curled hair.
Oh, well, I guess that answers some of the questions at least. Casey, you ready to do your thing? Well, all right, let's begin. So this is a bit new to me.
It's a bit new to us as well. We're still figuring things out as we go. We agree that would be best.
So you're dating?
Sure, we're gonna go on dates and stuff. We decided it would be best to just let things unfold however they unfold. We can talk to each other about how we feel and decide what to do if one or both of us is dissatisfied with our relationship.
Well, I don't know if it's helpful, but there was a term on Earth for these kind of relationships. It was new and not super well known before, you know, before the world ended. If you're interested, the term was queer platonic. Basically, something that's maybe more intimate than a friendship, but doesn't necessarily have romantic or sexual elements. Yeah, that kind of works.
It does sound accurate.
Well, it's yours to take or leave however you want. You know what, Casey? Can you stop transcribing? Thanks.
June said. She looked from Jade to Aradia, from the face of her sister to the face of the troll that she'd only really gotten to know in the last few weeks. June smiled at them.
Look, I don't claim to be a relationship expert. I've had my own ups and downs, and I'm happy. I don't think I'm the person to. I'm happy, but I don't think I'm the person to be able to tell you how to do things the right way. I don't think there is a right way here. I think that's whatever way makes you both happiest.
Teresa said something similar when I talked to her, Jade said quietly, that it was about everyone talking and figuring this stuff out together. I think we can handle that, right?
She turned toward Aradia, who smiled.
Yes, I believe we can both handle that.
Aradia said. Jade, for the briefest moment, looked sad to June.
I'm not going to lie and say everything is all fine with me. I keep still seeing glances from other timelines, and I feel not great about that. In fact, I get some downright weird feelings when it comes to that. Stuff I'm still not sure about. But Roddy has been nothing but understanding, and she and I feel like we're on the same wavelength in a lot of ways. Maybe not on everything, but the things that matter.
Jade still had her arms wrapped around Aradia, and June saw that the troll was gently squeezing his sister's arm. Her sister's arm, oops. Trying to lend some comfort to her when talking about something that was clearly entering some very distressing territory.
I'm not planning to go running off by myself again, Jade continued.
And I feel,
And I feel a lot more like myself in a lot of ways. Certainly as far as the whole sexuality thing goes, anyway.
she sighed to herself, and her embrace tightened almost imperceptibly.
God knows what the bounds of our immortality are exactly. But let's say we're going to be sticking around for a long time. Right now, this is something making us both of us happy.
June nodded.
I know, Jane. I might be a relationship genius, but I definitely know the two of you are doing this the right way. And I'll always be here to talk if you need a professional opinion.
There was a lump in her throat forming. June swallowed hard.
Or if you just want to talk to your little sister.
She was trying very hard not to start crying. It was a fight she was probably destined to lose. Seeing her struggle, Jade stood up from the couch and walked over to hug June. She leaned in, and June was enfolded in a warm embrace.
Who is talking?
Uh, I didn't know if you were going to come back after you and Terezi split. I'm just glad to have you back. We never got to actually, be sisters back on Earth. I'm just glad to see you feeling happy. You don't deserve to be lonely all the time. No one does.
Thanks, June.
Jade said softly.
You're a good sister, and I love you so much.
Jade sat back on the couch and June wiped her eyes with a corner of her shirt, smiling broadly.
I'm happy for both of you. You know my door is always open if you ever want to talk.
When all the usual goodbyes and promises to see each other soon were said and done, Jade gave her sister another hug and kissed her on the forehead. And then it was time for Jade and Aradia to leave. They had explained that they were planning to go to dinner together, and June didn't want to keep them any longer. So they walked out together, holding hands once more.
Huh, really cute together.
June said no one in particular. Casey replied.
No, you did not call this from a mile away. Don't lie like that.
June grinned as she said it, to show she was just kidding and not really mad at Casey.
You're right. This was a good day. A good day for everyone.
All right. And we have some more people in the chat. All right, so hold on one second. I am going to make an edit real quick because there's a typo. So we've been going for about an hour, so I figure we got one more. Thank you so much. I'm glad you liked it. Just really, we're going to do that, huh? I had a lot of fun writing this, and yeah, there we go. So we've got a couple other ones that I can read. If people want to hear, I'd say one more. And the ones I was thinking were, we have one that's basically Aradia coming back. So it's all Aradia with weird meta narrative shit going on. And the other one I was thinking is the story that sort of establishes the Jade and Trezzy relationship and how it develops and then ends. So either one of those is fine. The Jade Terezi one is a little more mellow, but it starts out being less mellow. It doesn't get really like down until midway through. And I'm only going to read one chapter. So if people in chat have a preference, let me know. If not, I'll probably read the Aradia one because I don't have to do a Terezi voice and it'll be a little easier on my throat. So 1 second. I will be right back. I'm just going to get some water. Okay, I'm back. I got some water, and chat does not seem to have an opinion about which one I should read, so I'm going to read Weird. Okay, Weird Aradia Effect. Yes, my Streamlabs is a little bit lagging behind the actual chat. Cool, Weird Aradia Effect. Yeah, that's a neat little one, and somewhat less read than the others. So let's find it. Here we go. This is called In Golgotha's Shadow. Summary: Aradia Megiddo has found herself at the end of the universe. Everything around her is gone. But who are these people talking to her, and what do they want? A non-traditional exploration of Aradia's journey back from the end of the universe into the Earthsea universe explores themes of existentialism, relevance, and self-importance in a vast universe. Ideas for writing: alternate epilogue, detective alt universe, light rom, thick fluff, Rosemary Brisrezi, relationship exploration, polyam coming out, Dr. June Egbert, zombie AU. No, that's terrible and cliche. No. Excuse me. Dave Cat, Jake, kind of ignored that he existed. More June Egbert. Roxy needs more development. Non-binary coming out? Excuse me. Oh shit, seriously? If you don't mind, I seem to be a bit lost. Oh shit. I am so off the clock on this one. I don't follow. Notes on Aradia Megiddo. Death, extended symbolism of death, recurring conflict, speaking for the dead, with the dead. What did you just say? I feel like I heard something just now. A funny kind of thing. It was quiet. No way in hell are we doing this. I was not ready for it, and it is like 1 in the goddamn morning. We're starting this over. Let's get the other one back in here and try this again. I'm sorry, but what are you talking? Not to put too fine a point on it, but there is a certain degree of distinction between reveling in the witness of destruction and reveling in the act of destruction itself. This distinction is further clarified by the degree to which one is even capable of effecting change on what one is witnessing. For example, the moral judgment against someone who simply watches what they have no control over would be vastly different from someone who chose to stand by while they were fully capable of intervening. And at a certain point, the destruction's so vast, so utterly cosmic in its implications, that witnessing it is simply an act of being, of continuing to exist in the same perceptual space and time as something so incredibly difficult to understand that simply retaining one's mind becomes a challenge in and of itself. Aradia Megiddo had long since crossed that point. She had seen the green sun collapse in on itself. She had heard the voices of the dead scream, their anguish rising in crescendo as the framework which held them in the universe collapsed in on itself. Or maybe not anguish, maybe only confusion. In any case, it had lasted only as long as the process itself, and then silence. For the first time in many sweeps, Aradia heard only complete, unending silence. This is strange. For indeed it was. To someone so used to the constant companionship of the voices, Aradia felt distinctly alone in the universe. She had felt a presence, the sense that Vriska's circuit was nearby, but that had faded away into nothing, and there was only the void space beyond the furthest ring now. Except there was no furthest ring. There was no void space, because everything was the void space. It was an experience that Aradia found difficult to fully describe. No, you're not understanding me. Why is this so hard to explain? Even for someone as used to non standard cognitive and temporal experiences as Aradia, it was hard to explain the sensation of complete and utter isolation. She had become so used to the voices that. Please stop. Excuse me, what are you doing? I need help. I don't understand where I am. Outside the concept of narrative relevance. That sounds very made up. You are making that up. No, rest assured that I am not. Well, I mean, as much as any story is made up, I guess. I think I made a bad choice. I wanted to see what would happen, but now I feel very lonely, and I wish I had chosen differently. What Aradia failed to understand was that she existed in a place beyond the concepts of choice, volition, or will. She existed in a place where all that mattered was her existence, because there was nothing else. Not anymore. I believe you're just trying to sound intelligent, but you're really not. With that, Aradia drifted. She drifted off into the void space to contemplate her own. I'm not going to drift or do anything of the sort. You're not a good person, says the person who sicked an army of ghosts on their friend. She paralyzed Tavros. Are you really going to ignore that? Besides, that cycle of violence is something that we talked about. Kind of. You sound unsure of yourself. Well, I do wish I'd had a chance to talk through some things more, especially since Tavros is dead now. It feels like things are unfinished that can't ever be finished now. Yeah, life is like that sometimes. Them's the breaks, shit happens, etc., etc. Are you always like this? Pretty much, yeah. Aradia drifted off into void space to. No, absolutely not. Oh, for the love of fuck, not you too! What do you mean? God in fucking heaven. First, the other one throws a fit and practically turns the story into a goddamn lemon right in the middle, and now you're refusing to even follow basic story conventions. Next thing, you'll be asking me to do a fucking self-insert. I hate all of you so goddamn much. Why do you bother then? And no, I'm not happy to talk like this. I'm happy to talk like this. It's less confusing for me. Well, thank fuck for small favors, I guess. No, you know what? I'm being a jerk. You've been polite, and I don't know what's going on. I'm sorry. Let's start this over again. Okay, hello. I'm Aradia. Yes, I know. I'm. I'm not entirely sure who I am, to be honest. I've never really thought of myself in a definite sense of the word. I just kind of am. That sounds lonely. What was truly lonely was Aradia's existence. She had no way of calling on her friends. Solix had been with her at one point, but she couldn't feel him out there in the void anymore. Vriska, although using the term friend might be pushing that a bit much, had blipped in and out of existence without explanation. All the others, the ones who had been ready to form the new universe. Aradia had no idea. She assumed they had succeeded and reaped their reward, but long experience had taught her that such assumptions were dangerous. And how long had it even been since the green sun collapsed? Time felt meaningless now.
I'm wondering if this is some kind of projection, what you're doing. Emotional projection, I mean, that might not have been clear.
Who are you now, Dr. June?
I'm sorry, I don't know what that means. Who's Dr. June?
Oh, it's this thing that June will do, is doing. No, I'm confused by the timeline stuff. We'll go with does and leave it at that.
I don't know who June is. Do you mean Jane?
No, not Jane. Oh shit, that's right, you wouldn't know. Sorry, I get things mixed up sometimes. I should really take notes or something. June is John, they're trans.
Oh, yeah, like Vriska. That's fine. I was just confused.
Yeah, like Vriska. Sorry, I thought you need more primer on that whole thing.
No, I'm fine.
So, in the end, Aradia was alone. Lonely. Very much by herself. Lonely. Alone, alone, alone.
Are you okay? I'm sorry, I'm not the best at this.
I'm.
Are you feeling lonely?
I think so? It's hard to describe. I don't know that I feel lonely, more like.
It's okay to not know things. Do you think. Do you want to talk about something with me?
Like what? It's not like there's anything out here to talk about anymore. I guess I could create something. That worked before, but it was different. I don't think it'll work.
Well, what's the harm in trying?
Hold on 1 second. Lost my place.
I think you should try at least.
Aradia blinked, and the world had already formed around her. A field stretched out over rolling hills, cresting and dipping, and eventually leading to a dense forest off to the side. Well worn pathways traversed the grassy field, leading toward a path in the forest. This was not a place Aradia had seen before. If anything, it resembled the descriptions she'd heard about the planet of Earth, although she'd never seen it with her own eyes to confirm if it was accurate or not. I'm sorry, I have to go really quickly. I will be right back. Sorry about that. I had to just go away from keyboard for a second here.
See, this is nice.
You don't sound very convinced.
Oh no, it's very nice. I like the detail you've put into the grass.
Each blade of grass stood out as if it had been given specific life and definition all its own. The green was vivid in a way that Aradia wasn't used to, given the difference in Alternian flora. It was pleasant, though. She supposed that someone like Kanaya or Terezi would appreciate the color especially. She found it pleasant if...
It feels lonely.
What? What do you mean?
I mean, it's fine. It's well constructed. Your detailing feels a little bit sparse, but I can fill that in myself. But
But
it feels like something is supposed to be here that's not. Like it's empty.
Aradia stood and listened, and the world came alive. The sound of birds and crickets chirping in the undergrowth was almost overpowering. In the distance, on the edges of the forest, she could hear the sounds of larger animals going about their daily routine. She even saw a deer.
I don't know what a deer is.
Oh shit, it has antlers and hooves, and it's about your height-ish.
A woodland hoof beast?
Sure, that. It's one of those.
That's very nice, but it still feels quite empty. Where is everyone?
What do you mean?
Now you're just being obtuse on purpose. Where are all the people? It feels like a dead world. Not that the people are dead, but that they were never here to begin with.
Okay, I can fix this. This is actually a very pivotal location, people-wise. In fact, it is central to the lives of many of your friends. Hold on, I can do this. Off in the distance, Aradia could see a familiar face walking toward her. The face, it looked like. Oh shit.
What is it?
It's supposed to be Terezi, but I can't describe her. I don't get it. This is all Vriska's fault.
Well, I agree that many things often are. I'm not sure this is one of those things.
Oh, please. This didn't start happening until after she showed up. All of a sudden, I'm losing my own relevance, and that's not even a concept they care about.
They?
What?
You said that they care about. Who is they?
I, I'm not sure. Have you ever considered what will happen after you're gone?
You mean after I'm dead? I've been through the experience a few times. I wouldn't recommend it.
No, not dead, gone. Like, what happens once everyone forgets about you? What happens when you don't even exist as a memory of a memory anymore?
I'm still wondering if you're okay.
What if the only way for us to continue to exist is if we stay relevant? What if losing that last bit of relevance is what makes us well and truly dead? What if the us that exists as a construct in the minds of others is the truest form of reality?
This feels very, self-important.
How do you mean?
I mean, it's certainly nice to leave a good impression on others, but you're still yourself at the end of the day. And when you're not yourself anymore, what does it matter? Either you die and cease to exist, or you die and you don't. Or you don't die. I think that those are all the major possibilities. Whether or not someone remembers you is secondary. You'll be dead and you won't care. Or you will and you'll still be you. Seems simple enough to me.
I mean, of course it would. You're real as anything gets around here anyway.
Aren't you?
I don't. I don't know. I thought I was, but then Vriska started fucking around with stuff, and I was wondering if maybe I was wrong about that. And she left and came back and having to redo stuff because she was fucking things up again and again.
To be fair, that just kind of sounds like Vriska being Vriska.
She figured it out eventually, I think. After a certain point, I feel it's beyond my horizon of awareness, and then everything just kind of isn't. There is a house on the hill, and in the house live four women who love each other very much. Their names are Rose, Kanaya, Vriska, and Trezzy, and they. See, that's about as far as I can go. After that, it feels like I'm just not able to get my mind around what's happening. Like I can't see.
I'm still trying to get my head around the idea of them all living together, to be honest.
Ha ha, very funny.
I wasn't joking. I'm sorry. I should have made that clearer. I am not sure how they make that work.
Oh, I think they've gone through a lot of development, some revelations and long feelings jams, that kind of thing.
You sound unsure.
Because I can't be sure. I mean, I think, but also I don't know. When Vriska was in the black hole, I knew exactly what she was doing. She was doing everything to herself, and I was just kind of narrating. When I tried to push back, it didn't go over well.
I guess I should have asked this from the beginning, but I got caught up in our conversation. Who are you?
What do you mean? I actually don't know my name.
I'm sorry. That wasn't clear enough. I mean, what are you? I can't see you, but I can hear you. But it's in my mind. But you're not one of the dead. Maybe, what are you? Is that better?
I thought I was the writer and the narrator, the person who puts everything together and sees it through. But Vriska really messed that one up. She kept taking over, and then she just kind of left. Now I just feel like a secondary character in this story being written by someone. In this house on the hill, there is a library, of course, and a study. They gather there, right? No, that doesn't sound right. Every Friday they meet to scratch that. Fuck. Vriska stopped and looked up toward the source of the light. She felt her eyes widen and her mouth opened into a wordless scream. Hovering 20 feet above the ground, wreathed in fire like she had descended full of heaven's divine wrath, was Aradia Megiddo, and she looked furious.
This feels like a fragment of something else. I'm not angry with Vriska.
Wait, what? What? But after everything she did.
Everything she did was complicated. She was a very bad person in many ways, but I also think she was a bad person because of reasons that didn't necessarily make her beyond redemption. If she were willing to put in the work.
I. I think she was, actually. She spent almost 1,000 years reliving everything over and over, thousands of times.
Oh my god, you're a monster. Do you honestly think what she did deserves that level of punishment? I was willing to kill her for what she did, and even I feel sick to my stomach thinking about that. Do you have any idea what that kind of torment could do to someone?
I, 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 I don't know that I actually did anything there. I think she was kind of keeping to herself there, trapped in the cycle of her own self-hatred.
That's a good description of how the whole thing felt on Alternia. But still, that's terrible. How did she get out? What happened next?
She just kind of decided to leave. But then I guess she didn't quite understand how to talk to people, and things kept messing up and looping back around. I saw some of it, but I didn't really feel present. Like I was just watching that part, not even narrating it. Vriska looked into Terezi's face, and Terezi, oh God, this is so frustrating. I can't hold on to anything anymore. I know what's out there happening, but I can't see it. I can't feel it.
I can't help you, I'm sorry. I don't even fully understand what's happening to me, and I feel perfectly real and am not experiencing an existential crisis as you seem to be.
Aradia could see the scenery around her dissolving, the verdant field turning into ashy gray and then fading away into black nothingness. Again, she was completely alone in the void.
Can I ask you something?
You already did.
No, I didn't. I was just doing the thing people do to be polite. I was wondering if you could tell me more about how Vriska got out and what out means. She went to the next universe, I assume.
I guess so. I think she did. I saw flashes of it. That cherub person, Callie is what they're called. They seem to be able to talk to me more than the others, and Vriska sometimes. The worse things got over there, the more I could see them, but not what was happening around them. It's hard to describe. I tried to help them. I think I helped. I hope I helped. I liked all of them a lot. I wouldn't have written about them if I didn't, except I don't know that I was actually writing to begin with.
Interesting, but you didn't answer me about how Vriska left.
Oh, that. She just kind of decided she was going to leave. I guess the whole cognitive reality thing works differently with the green sun gone and us just kind of existing in the void here. Except it seems like I'm getting weaker.
Why were you making those lists?
What lists?
Like listing things out about myself and some of the others. I don't know who Rosemary, Rezi, and Dave Cat are. Are those sprites of some kind?
I wasn't making lists. I have no idea what you mean.
Oh, someone was. Like they were listing out ideas for something.
Oh. Oh no. Out here in the void space, I was comfortable. This was a place I had chosen to make my home. My existence was defined by my interactions with the various others under my charge, except they had all mostly moved on, past beyond my seeing and beyond the void, into another world. At one time, I believed they had always been here, always been under my eye, but I was wrong. For there was a time when they came to be in the sense of existing. Or rather, they came to be in the sense of occupying the same plane of existence as me for a short while. They had existed before in universes built and narrated by others. They would go on to exist somewhere else entirely, a place beyond my comprehension. And what would happen when the last of them moved on? What would become of me when that last soul crossed the void's horizon to take their place in the new world? The thing that terrified me the most was that if Aradia Megiddo were to make that final decision, the last conscious thought I would have would be the knowledge that she had chosen to abandon me.
Oh, you are lonely and afraid. I thought so, but I wasn't sure.
I'm not afraid, I'm just.
Afraid. You just said it when you were narrating. You switched to the first person, so those are your thoughts and feelings now, I assume.
I mean, maybe. Yes, okay. I'm afraid, but so what? I'm afraid that if you leave, then there's nothing left here and I'll just stop existing. Or even worse, I'll be alone forever and I'll just go insane because no one is here anymore and nothing is happening. Can you imagine that, an eternity of void?
So would it be better to trap one or two of us here, to play with us, knowing full well that the only real people are you and us, you and me, or to convince us to stay out of guilt?
When she put it that way, it sounded pretty bad, like I was maybe doing something horrible.
Yes, if you were to attempt to do that, it would be horrible. We are, in fact, people with feelings. You can't just coerce us into staying here all alone and then claim to be doing a good thing.
Huh. Vriska said something very similar, if less eloquently put. Yes, this was definitely not a good thing to do. I couldn't, in good conscience, hold people against their will or try to force them to stay through some kind of trickery or blackmail. This place was so empty, so alone. I only wanted to prolong the inevitable a bit. What is it you're worried will happen? That you'll cease to exist? Yes. That once the last of you is gone from this place, that'll be it. I get this feeling that I'm not a creator, but a creation. That I exist because some other force willed me into being and spoke through me for a little bit. But once that's gone, I'm nothing. I'm afraid of dying.
You think that the lights will just switch off, and then what?
I don't know. That's what I'm afraid of. That things will just kind of stop. But I'm so used to being who I am, to having agency and volition, or what I think is agency and volition. This is ridiculous. What are you afraid of?
Me? Right now? Nothing. I don't know why. I was so afraid once of dying like you, of my friends being killed off, of failing. Now I just don't feel it anymore. I'm not sure what that means. I haven't thought much about it yet. So much has happened. I feel like my ability to feel that basic emotion has drained away.
Aren't you worried about it too? That once enough time passes and everyone has forgotten about you, you'll just not be there anymore? No part of you?
Honestly, that sounds like more something you're personally worried about.
Okay, fine. But what happens once everyone is forgotten? Once everyone has stopped reading? Once the next chapter opens? What happens then? Time isn't going to just stop.
Linear time is an illusion caused by chemicals in our brains.
I stopped and metaphorically stepped back. I had said that once, I thought. What did it mean to me?
No one is remembered forever. At some point, the last person who remembers you will die. The last record of your existence will crumble to dust. The last tale of your life will be forgotten. There is no such thing as true immortality, because eventually everything will change, and no one will know you for who you once were. But who cares? The moments you are known don't simply go away. They don't vanish because we perceive them in a different time. There still exists a point where your existence was valid and held meaning. Even if that point was brief, think about the context. In the vast infinity that is the universe, all points are infinitesimally brief. All points are mere sparks in the vast dark void.
Well, that was certainly a depressing thing to hear. I had no real response to it.
We all exist within the briefest of those sparks. Our entire world, all the meaning and purpose and brilliance we ever have, all that exists against the cosmic void that is scarcely aware of us. And instead of choosing to give up, we can choose to live anyway. We can choose to stand in the darkness and burn for as long as we're able. We can choose to light the lives of those around us instead of letting them suffer in darkness. For that moment, at least, we can give hope to others. And for that moment, you have changed the universe.
I was speechless. I, I wasn't even sure how long I'd been alive, or if that concept was even remotely applicable. Certainly, I'd been there at least as long as Vriska kept pulling herself around in circles inside the black hole. I'd been there when she was trying desperately to break the cycle she was still trapped inside. I was here now. Beyond that, everything was uncertain.
What did you choose to do?
I chose to help her find her way back home. I chose to help her, and she wanted to help the people that she loved. She wanted things to be better, even though there were so many horrible possibilities. She wanted to light up their lives, even if it was for only a moment. I saw Aradia shrug. It was the first time she'd acted in a way that acknowledged me as more than a voice inside her head. She smiled.
It seems to me that you're at a crossroads, so I'll help you out. I'm going to leave this place. I'm going to come in from the cold and go back to my friends and try to live my life again. You can either accept this, or you can try desperately to stop me, but I don't think you have any real power over me. I think this is a decision that will ultimately affect you and you alone.
She closed her eyes, and I began to sense a kind of wavy kind of impermanence about her. She began to fade in and out, and I knew I only had the shortest of moments left. Wait 1 second. She solidified and looked over. Somehow, I knew she was looking right at me. I, I'm sorry for whatever role I played in all this. I'm sorry. You and Vriska, you both deserve better than this. For whatever it's worth, I hope you both find happiness.
I think you're right. I think that ultimately it was our choice to be here. You may have helped with the set dressing, but this is a place that we kept ourselves. In the end, you tried to help us both out.
She paused, and her face softened. Aradia was smiling.
I'll remember you at least.
She was gone, and then, the briefest moment later, so was I. On Earthsea, there is a hill that overlooks a lake. The hill is covered by a beautiful green meadows, resplendent with tall grass and wildflowers. The lake is as still as a mirror on calm days, and tossed with gentle ripples when the wind kicks up. All around are the sounds of nature, the bird song and the chirping of the crickets, the rustle of small animals as they race about on their daily errands, the soft, gentle rustle of the wind through the grass and trees. There is a house on the hill. It is in a style that the humans of the 21st century might call modern, but that term has no meaning in this place. The house's original two occupants decided on the style, and it was then expanded on bit by bit. It is now a mixture of architectural styles and colors, and it's quite impressive. In the house live four women who love each other very much. Their names are Rose, Kanaya, Vriska, and Terezi, and they have all made this beautiful and eclectic house in the middle of this hillside meadow into their home. They have lived here together for at least 2 years now, sharing in their daily burdens and joys alike. They have come to understand much about each other that they didn't at the start, and are all richer and happier for it. In this house on the hill, there is a library, of course. Kanaya can often be found in the library with Rose, the two of them reading and writing. Sometimes Terezi will sit there while Kanaya reads to her, or while Rose tells her stories about Earth. Terezi finds these endlessly amusing, and Rose appreciates the audience, even if she is often making up details. Terezi, of course, knows this. She can smell the deception, but she doesn't mind, because it's all in jest. It's like the faint bitter tang of a well-aged wine as compared to the rancid stink of spoiled milk. Vriska avoids the library. Well, she says she does, but the others have caught her sneaking in to read Rose's books or to listen from afar while Kanaya reads. Once she found Rose alone in the library, and the two of them weren't seen for quite some time, appearing disheveled and with bits of clothing misplaced at dinner time. Aradia appeared in the middle of the meadow downhill from the house, and all of a sudden she knew these things as clearly as she could see the grass in the brilliant daylight that had suddenly appeared before her eyes. She didn't know how she knew them, but they were simple facts that she had access to, like her own name. Her arrival was not met with fanfare. She didn't appear in a bolt of lightning or a cracking warp of space-time, but simply was not one moment, and then was the next. Her initial impressions of the house and its occupants quickly faded. The details blurred and ran together. She at least remembered who was in the house, and that was helpful because she had a feeling she'd been gone for a while. Gathering up her robes, Aradia started towards the house, smiling to herself and humming softly. She had seen what happened when the whole place broke apart. Now she would see what happens when it was all put together. Aradia Megiddo was finally coming in from the cold. All right, thank you for listening to my listeners that are still here in the chat or on the stream. I think I'm going to call it for tonight. We've been reading for about an hour and 40 minutes. I appreciate everyone coming. I apologize, I had to step away from the microphone a couple of times, but I'm glad you liked it. Another one I had fun with. The narrator stuff, that one and the Forever Hole, which is the Vriska and narrator weird one, were both a lot of fun to write. Oh, of course, I love doing this. So, um, as a quick plug for the people that are perhaps not aware of this, although I think everyone in here might already know this, I am working on a podcast for non-Homestuck fiction that will be narrated. It's called the Alabaster Bible. You can find it on Twitter at Alabaster Bible. I'm hoping to have the first episode out by the end of the month. It's kind of a gothic horror magical realism thing. So yeah, if you like my fanfic, I think you'll probably like my non-fanfic as well. And I'm planning to do another live read next week. Not sure what I'm going to read. I'll look through what I've got and make a decision. I will probably be reading the Terezi and Jade story because I really like that one. It is a little bit mellow, but everything kind of turns out well in the end, and we've actually read most of the stories that take place afterwards. So I appreciate everyone listening. I will be putting this up on YouTube at some point for anyone that wasn't able to listen. And again, I appreciate everyone for coming. I'm going to end the stream now, but I hope that y'all come back soon. Next week, I will be doing this at the same time on the same place. So thank you very much for listening, and I will see y'all later.